What's good, family? Welcome back to the channel. In this video right here, we have mom ends her daughter's life and then goes on Facebook Live. Shorty right here has to be psychotic. Let's get straight into this.
On the 3rd of May 2017, Tanya Tripp would go on Facebook Live with her pastor Angela C. Harden in Augusta, Georgia. Tanya's daughter, Latiana Janelle Carwell, and her husband, Latiana's stepfather, Leon Tripp, had left the family home at around 1:30 a.m. on April 17th. 2017, and between that date and the date of the live, the pair were reported missing. No one knew where they were.
Because my daughter has never, ever been away from me this long, a period of time without no call, text, or anything. And I need my baby home at the almost 15 days ago. That's how important it is. So if y'all see her or know her whereabouts, please call the Richmond County Sheriff Department at 706-821-1080.
Born April 17th, 2001, Latiana Janelle Carwell, known simply as Janelle by family and friends, had the world at her feet. Not much is known about her early life. When News Channel 6 had approached students and teachers for personal information about her, the school district wouldn't allow them to speak with said people. But what we can say for certain is that Janelle was an honor student. She did better than most at T.W. Josie Comprehensive High School, having aspirations of either studying to become a doctor later on in life or working towards a law degree. Although News Channel 6 didn't manage to speak to the vast majority of people, one teacher did come forward to tell Janelle's school story and gave praise on how academically inclined she was. Teacher Laurie Miles describing the young girl as sitting at the front of the class for every lesson, making sure she got her work done. But she wasn't the shy, introverted type either, having many friends both in and out of school. In the months leading up to the Easter weekend of 2017, reports emerged that Janelle hadn't been her usual self. Although she still got on with work, she started to slightly slack off, opting to sit at the back of the class, generally associated with the more badly behaved children within T.W. Josie. Teachers began to pick up on this behaviour and questioned the change, but ultimately couldn't figure out exactly what was going on with her. After all, when teachers prompted her to sit at the front of the class so she could give her 100% attention, she had no issues in doing so. In fact, nearly 6 years on, in March of 2023, it's still unclear as to why Janelle's behaviour switched in the few months leading up to that Easter weekend in 2017. That, coupled with the fact that she would disappear at the height of the abnormality, left everyone at that moment scratching their heads. But maybe, just maybe, there was something going on with Janelle, something perhaps going on at home, prompting this change. Enters Leon Tripp. Now, just before we continue, I must note that I'm not stating Leon Tripp is the sole contributor to Janelle's behaviour change at all. Rather, just an unconfirmed theory that may be confirmed at a later date. Many close to the story and those who have researched the case point to Leon as being the main reason why Janelle's behaviour had switched. If we rewind the clock back to 2011, and then Tanya Carwell rekindled with her teenage sweetheart, Leon Tripp. That's if we're to believe Tanya's story anyway. Tanya's brother, on the other hand, said he was unsure of how true the story was, as they spent much of their childhood over in Texas, somewhere Leon had no connections to. Whether you believe her or not, by 2011, the pair had been in regular contact and had even married, but he wasn't introduced to the family straight away. Now, some of you may be sitting there confused. If they're married, then how wasn't he introduced to everyone? Well, you see, there was just the small detail of Leon being in jail at the time of marriage, and no, it wasn't for any petty crimes. Taking a quick look over his rap sheet, it's clear to see he was a violent offender. Stalking, various gun charges, armed robbery, burglary, and cruelty to children are just some of the offences listed as a part of his background. So why Janelle would even think it would be a good idea to try and settle down with a character as such, especially having children of her own, is mind-boggling. Leon's ex-wife, Makeda Kay, had even warned Tanya before she married him, telling her if you did know him as a teen, if that was true, he wasn't that same person he once was. We was married from 2003 to 2009. I met Leon in 2000. We have 2 girls together. those are the only children he had. Tanya met him in prison, and she was fully warned. I was cyberstalked while he was in jail until 2013. Leon had many charges from our incidents. All of the cases you see online are from our marriage. Talking of his eventual release in 2015, she had this to say: I mailed letters to the parole to prevent his release, but I was ignored.
Sheesh.
On the
Leon
14th
tripped.
of April 2017, a party was thrown in one of Janelle's classes at school. A fellow student was about to move. Janelle was said to have been in high spirits enjoying the party and had even announced that at some point in the near future she was going to move as well, hinting that the class do the same for her when it was her time to go. However, there isn't any evidence to suggest that the family were going to relocate, at that moment anyway. That isn't to say Janelle wasn't telling the truth. You see, she wasn't really known for just making up random situations. What we can say though is that this would be a sad case of foreshadowing. Following the party, the celebrations continued over the weekend. As you know, it had been Easter. The Monday was Janelle's 16th birthday, so this one was going to be extra special. A cookout was held at her home address, and people who attended say once again she was in a great mood. She'd been socializing with family and friends. But that, ladies and gentlemen, would be the last time
Haven't been in a
anyone
cookout in a
would see
minute.
her alive. That, ladies and gentlemen, would be the last time anyone would see her alive.
Dang.
So, what happened? Well, we're going to have to use the timeline of events that Tanya has given. As of March 2023, no one has contested the timeline, but that isn't to say that the timeline is true. We don't have any updated information, so we're going to have to go off that. At around 1:30 AM, it's said that Leon received a call from a friend, Maurice, claiming that he'd broke down in Clarks Hill, a rough 25-mile drive away. However, Tanya stated that she didn't realise that Janelle had originally left. Confused, she called Leon at around 2 AM to ask why he took Janelle along with him. But before she could finish her sentence, Leon explained that he didn't know how to use the GPS system on the cell phone and needed her assistance. Thinking nothing of it, Tanya went to sleep. But as the day swung around, the pair hadn't returned, and as day turned to night, there was still no sign of them, so Tanya called for 911. With whispers in the community about the pair potentially leaving to start a new life together, the public ate the story up. However, the truth was much darker. In the background, police had been receiving various tip-offs from members of the public over in Atlanta, Georgia, a whole 145 miles away. Further leads came in the form of surveillance footage which had been taken on the 21st of April 2017 at the Stop and Shop grocery store on Lee Street. Leon was by himself. But where was Janelle? On day 8 into the investigation, Tanya's white pickup the pair had left in was found around a mile from her home on Old McDuffie Road. But if at least Leon was in Atlanta, why was the car so close to home? And again, where was Janelle? Taking all of the information that was currently in circulation, it wasn't hard to see why police put a warrant out for Leon's arrest. He was now a wanted man on kidnapping charges. The police thought he kidnapped her.
6. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. An Augusta teenager is still missing after more than 2 weeks, and investigators believe she was kidnapped by her stepfather, but her mother says that is not the case. News Channel 6's Renetta Dubose has been following this story. She joins us now live in the newsroom, and Renetta, you sat down today with the mother.
I did, Jenny. This case may have been upgraded to kidnapping, but Latanya Carwell's mother is sticking to her story. Her husband took their daughter in the middle of the night to help a friend.
In my heart and mind, I feel like he didn't kidnap our daughter.
This Augusta stepfather went from missing with his stepdaughter to being her accused kidnapper.
These kids go with their dad all the time. So you mean to tell me every time they go somewhere with him, it's a kidnapping? Just because I didn't know it the second day he left with her?
But Tanya Tripp isn't buying this turn in the investigation. She says her husband, Leon Tripp, needed Latanya Janelle Carwell's tech-savvy skills to operate cell phone GPS to help a friend with car trouble in South Carolina. The door slammed, and the two took off in the family truck.
Nah, boy, you telling me you don't know how to press a couple buttons? You don't know. He's saying he don't know how to type in the address and click start. Come on, my boy. Who's buying that?
Later found less than a mile from their home on Old McDuffie Road.
It's not like he's an old
says
man.
the days leading up to the incident during the early morning hours of April 17th were normal.
We was going to celebrate her birthday when she came home from school and stuff. And she was like, no, I just want you to cook me some fried chicken and macaroni, Mom. That's all I want.
Investigators say Leon Tripp was spotted at a Stop and Shop grocery in Atlanta 4 days after he left his Augusta home. Janelle was not with him, though it's believed both are in Atlanta. As national media reports the story, some believe the father and daughter had a relationship.
Really? He married to all this prettiness and he gonna run away with our daughter? Come on now. That's stupid.
A tipster contacted the Carwell family stating they saw Janelle just 2 days after she left with her stepfather. They said they saw her here in Clearwater, South Carolina, off Belvedere Clearwater Road between Lakeview Drive and Irene Street. It was about 1:30 in the morning and she was wearing a backpack. But when they asked Janelle if she needed a ride, she said no because she needed to meet someone. Tripp's lengthy criminal history stretches back to 2001 in various Georgia counties.
This man's a felon.
His charges include cruelty to children, armed robbery, aggravated assault, and battery.
Bro, this man literally has cruelty to children on his record. That's insane. To children.
Children, armed robbery, aggravated assault, and battery.
Tanya stood by Leon. After all, she did describe that in her heart and mind, she felt like there was nothing sinister going on. What she didn't realise though, is that there would be public backlash after doing that interview that you just saw a moment ago. And people had even started to suspect that she wasn't telling the truth. After people voiced their concerns, Tanya went on Facebook Live with Pastor Angela C. Harden to clear up her side of the story and to put out a further appeal for Janelle's whereabouts.
I'm here with I'm here with her mother. Let me put the picture up on the young lady, Latanya Caldwell, who is missing. Let me turn this around. I want y'all to see her, and right here. This is she's 16 years old, and she's missing, and this is her stepdad. They were last seen leaving her mom's home.
Wow.
Here.
That's so wicked, because it seemed as if the mom that actually had killed the daughter had the pastor come over to cover it to make it seem as if she's a better person than she actually is.
And we're
crazy.
doing all we can to get the word out. She's been missing now for how long? 3 weeks?
15 days. 15 days.
15 days. She left home with this man here, which is her. And so you all.
Yeah, it froze, y'all.
Okay. I'm kind of losing connection, so you all bear with me. The devil is a liar, but that's her. Here's another picture of her, 16 years old, and we need as many people as possible to repost. We're gonna get it out as much as we can. We want her to come home. We were told that she was could be in the Atlanta area, and we need everybody to be on the lookout for her stepdad. We were even told he was seen there on Lee Street, I believe, in Atlanta. So he's been spotted. We want to know where she is. And that's why we're coming to you guys. And we know the power of social media. And I'm here with her mom. So, Mom, you let me turn it around right quick. Again, I'm here with her mother. And Mom, let me just sit here with you. This is her mother, Tanya. Tanya Tripp. Tanya, I know it's a little difficult, but would you just kind of share with our audience how important this is and how bad you want your baby to come home?
Yes, it's the utmost important because my daughter has never, ever been away from me this long, a period of time without no call, text, or anything. And I need my baby home at the utmost 15 days ago. That's how important it is. So if y'all see her or know her whereabouts, please call the Richmond County Sheriff Department at 706-821-1080.
Amen. And that's her mom. Now, she went missing. I don't know if you want to go back to exactly what happened or how this happened, but how did she end up leaving? I know a lot of people are saying different things.
Right.
And you might want to just, expel some of those rumors and deal with that, you can do that at this time if you'd like to, because a lot of times we have our preconception of what happened, or we kind of think about where this must was going on or that was going on, and we want to put a rest to all of that. What's important is that she come home. That's what's important. But anything you want to share pertaining to what happened or what could have happened here?
Okay, so on the 16th, which was Easter, we had a cookout, and I was helping out with them with the cookout, and I do have cancer. I have brain cancer, and I have lung cancer.
She lied about having
And
cancer, yeah.
I was inhaling too much of the smoke, so my husband told me to go in the house and lay down. So I did, because I couldn't breathe. And shortly after that, she was out there helping him finish cooking or what have you. They all ate and everything, but I didn't eat at the time. Later on, that's when I said about 1:30. He came in the house after all that was over with. He came in and he said, "Babe, I need to use your phone. I need to look up something," is what he said. So I just gave him my phone and rolled back over and laid down. And shortly after that, I heard his truck crank up. And then I heard after that, the back door slam. My baby girl, shortly after that, when they left, came in and told me that, she had left or whatever. Janelle's gone is what she said. And I said, "Gone where?" And she said, "I don't know." So I go through the house calling for her, nothing. And I immediately go into mommy mode. I called my husband because I knew he had my phone. And first thing he said was, "Baby, I'm sorry." He said, "I got Janelle." He said, "I got her to ride along with me because I didn't want to bother you because you were sick." He said, "I was going to ask you, but you were sick, but I didn't want to bother you." And he said, I asked her to ride with me to help with the GPS because he is not no technology person. He's not. And my daughter is good at that kind of stuff. So that's why he asked her since I wasn't able to go. And
the GPS been around since the 2000s. Like,
he went with him to help her dad
early
with
2000s.
that. He told me, he said, "Maurice is stuck on side the road." He said, "And I'm trying to help him." I said, "Okay." And he said, I told him, I said, "Well, is you going to follow him all the way home?" He said, "No." He said, "When we get back in Augusta," he said, "he going to go his way. I'm going to go mine." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, babe, call me and let me know y'all on your way or what have you." He said, "Okay, I will." And 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, I'm calling, texting, nothing. And that's one thing they not going to do is ignore my call when they see me calling at all. They not. Especially her. If she see me calling, she's going to answer that phone. If he's same thing with him, regardless of what he doing, he's going to stop. He going to answer me and go back to wherever he's doing. So it's crazy for them not to answer the phone or what have you. And all this craziness about they ran off to be together and stuff, no, it's no truth in none of that. That's her dad. That's his daughter. That's it. I'm his wife, not her. So all that craziness, it's no happening to that.
Okay. And you want her home?
I need my baby home, like 15 days ago type home, because she has never been away from me this long. And I know she's going out of her mind trying to find me or trying to get home. So, yes, I need my baby home. I do.
Okay. So you making a plea to the people?
Yes, please. If you see her, call the authorities so they can do their job to get her home, because every law enforcement agency around this world know about this case. So, yeah, please, if you see her, just call 911, please.
It wasn't just the public watching these interviews and that Facebook Live, though. Detectives were watching as well, and they were quick to notice the inconsistencies in Tanya's story. However, that wasn't enough to go off, and although she was somewhat a person of interest, Leon was their main man. Working on intel, the US Marshal would track Leon down to a U-Haul facility in DeKalb County on May 23rd, 2017. As they closed in, they noticed he wasn't by himself. He was with a woman. That woman? None other then Tanya. They would both go on to be arrested at the scene and charged in relation with the disappearance. Asked why she was with Leon, Tanya explained that she'd been in the process of moving to Atlanta and used a U-Haul truck to move some items around. As she was returning the vehicle some days later, she stumbled across him and confronted him about where Janelle was. According to Tanya, Leon stated that they had run out of gas, so they walked to the gas station. Their phones had been stolen from the truck in the process, that's why no one could get hold of them. For some bizarre reason, they then headed over to Atlanta and Janelle was dropped at a train station where she was supposed to go back home. To no surprise, the police didn't buy the story, and as you're aware, both Tanya and Leon were charged in relation to the missing persons investigation. A couple of weeks on from the initial charges, and there was still no sign of Janelle, the pair kept their lips sealed. They weren't giving up any information, leading investigators to believe something more darker had taken place. And so, murder charges were then placed against the pair.
Hey everybody, I'm Brad Means.
I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us tonight.
We do appreciate it. As coverage you can count on continues with the investigation into the death of LaTanya Janelle Carwell. Here we are now just a few days after law enforcement found her body, the identification coming just yesterday. News Channel 6's Renetta DeBose is joining us live on Golden Camp Road where a prayer vigil is underway near the site where that child's body was found. Renetta?
That's right, Brad. And
found
as
it,
people
yeah.
reflect on this case and think about it from the past year, there are still so many questions left unanswered. Now, the sheriff did talk about a lot of details of the case today, but we will still need to wait to get answers when the autopsy returns.
Just under a year on from her disappearance in March of 2018, police were called to the 2200 block of Golden Camp Road in Augusta to report that human remains were found in a shallow grave. Further analysis of the bones proved that Janelle had finally been found. And that was all thanks to the person living at the address.
How did they
I don't think
find
this was
that?
Tanya and Leon having a change of heart. And so it looked then as if detectives had all they needed to put a strong case forward against the pair in two separate trials. But this isn't where the story ends. You see, in 2020, reports had emerged that further charges were being placed against Tanya and Leon after the DA collected evidence which suggested that they tried to hire a hitman on 3 separate occasions to take Janelle out. The first 2 times were between September and December of 2015, the third time in October of 2016. As you know, months on, she would be reported missing and then was found dead. So where does that leave us today? Well, we're not really any closer to a trial date as of yet for both of them. With COVID pushbacks, new evidence coming to light, and various legal technicalities, such as the most recent one in November of 2022, where Leon's legal team was trying to get the case thrown out, I'm unsure of when Janelle will finally get some justice. But when that time comes, it's looking likely that for at least Leon, he'll be facing the death penalty. Until then, more in-depth details about the case are being kept under wraps until further notice.
I feel like that's just such an awkward stance for like the lawyer to defend, like Leon Tripp, knowing that it's like, all right, it's kind of obvious. No, like shout out to the investigators. You know what I'm saying? Because they put that together and they didn't just let it slide when they heard the story that they went to a gas station, their phones got stolen. You know what I'm saying? They didn't just let that slide and then the door was supposed to just go on a train. So they continued with further investigation. And they found her body in a shallow grave, which is like, wow. I don't know how that happened, but that's God. You know what I'm saying? That's the light. And you guys are... Ooh, I need that stretch right there. But yeah, psychotic people. Comment down below your thoughts on this situation right here. Make sure you do like the video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one the same way you're going to catch me in the next one. Peace. Love y'all.